Hey Cougar fans, we're here with USF head women's basketball coach Travis Traphagen, whose team sits at 18-4 on the season, 12-4 in the NSIC. It's a team that has won 5 straight games, and Coach, your team had a good road weekend last weekend. Let's quickly go over that as we prepare for a couple of home games beginning tomorrow night with Minnesota Crookston, followed by an old friend coming to town with Bemidji State. But first, talk about last weekend. You played Duluth on Friday night, and that win, you started out a little bit slow, but then you really picked it up.
Yeah, for some reason, we haven't played as well on Fridays as what we've had on Saturdays. I don't have any idea why that makes any sense. But we got off to a little bit of a slow start, but like usual, Taylor Varsho was Taylor Varsho for us. That got herself kind of rolling kind of at the end of the first quarter, where she ended up making 7 threes in the game. And again, we had nice balance from there, where I believe we scored 82 points and probably wasn't at our best. Duluth is kind of a banged up basketball team. They had a couple kids that play a lot of minutes that are out for that game with injury. And again, even though it wasn't at our best, sometimes that's what happens when you're on the road, where I believe we still won by close to 30, so you can't be too upset with a nice win on the road on Friday. And we knew going into Saturday that St. Cloud was only a couple games back of the lead in the North Division, and they ended our season last year. And Coach Fish does a great job. The thing that I could take leaving that basketball game is, man, they're a physical basketball team. Chelsea Nooker, they're starting 3-guard, very, very good. And we got down 7-0 in that game, quite honestly. And then once we kind of rolled the ship a little bit, we went on a couple big runs, and I believe we were up by 15 at half, and we got it up by 20, during the game, and kind of held on at the end. So, again, excited about the way the weekend went. I guess I didn't know, since we've been in the Northern Sun, that we hadn't swept a road weekend yet. So, like I said, it's tough to do. It's tough to do in a great league. So, really proud of our kids. And and now this is kind of the time of the year where you can start looking at where you're at in the standings with only 6 games to go. What's nice is we have, out of the 6 games to go, we got 4 at home. And then 2 on the road. So, we're going to take them one at a time. And if we can play the way we did, the inspired basketball, I thought Tegan Molden, talking just a little bit about St. Cloud, has got into our starting nod and really played well. I believe hit 4 or 5 threes, just helped spread the floor. Varsh had her regular, close to 20 points. I thought Amber Payton came in and gave us a big lift off the bench. Closer guard does what closer guard does, is almost averages, seems like, when we need big games, a double-double. So, I just like where we're at as a basketball team. I think the coaching cliche is you hope that you're playing your best basketball as you're going down the stretch. And just based on how we played, really the last 5 games, we've played pretty well. And, I hate always bringing it up, but I mean, if we still had that Winona game back, that could have went maybe either way. We're sitting in really, really good position, maybe even, for the conference championship. But the reality is we don't. So, sometimes right now you're really playing for seeding, hoping to get a home game, which I think we will in the first round. But secondly is almost, hoping to be able to win enough games to be able to get selected potentially if you remain hot for the NCAA tournament. So things are going well, and we know we got 2 good teams coming in here this weekend.
The team has reached a marker last weekend. 18 wins is the first time in the Division II era that you've reached that number. As a coach and as a program, this is, I think, the 5th time in your 8 years that you've done it. And so and 12 wins is a really good number. You're 1 away from where you were a year ago. So those are kind of good numbers for your team and your program this year with a senior leg.
Yeah, we're a veteran team. We have 5 kids that are seniors. And like that's what you always hope. When you get those type of kids in your program. But we're getting a lot of younger kids stepping up, and we're just playing. We're playing together. I thought even all weekend I was shocked to see when Varsh had 7 threes against Duluth. I mean, sometimes, she's such a special player that, it's quiet. Her even, I mean, you could tell how much St. Cloud was trying to take her away on Saturday, and still ends up with 16 or 17. Yeah. Just quiet, point, that hey, if they try to take her away, we got some other kids to be able to step up. So, it was a great weekend for us, and again, a lot of our upperclassmen are carrying a lot of the load.
Yeah, Taylor Varsho, the 7.3 is a career high for her. You need her and the rest of them as you play a very good Crookston team on Friday night. Talk about what Crookston, the challenges that team brings.
Yeah, I think probably going to be one of the harder teams to be able to defend. They I don't want to say live and die on the three-point line, but they kind of do. They got great guard play. There's a young lady, the Hughes kid, who plays the point guard for him that we looked at a lot out of high school as well. Might have been maybe one of the biggest misses I've ever had in recruiting, because she's a phenomenal player. Alexis Thielman is second place in the league in threes behind Varsh. Is it Katrina Nordic, who's their four-man? I'd say pretty easily, if you ask the 15 other coaches in our league who the best four-man in our league is, everybody would say Katrina. And then their five-man, the Gruber kid who plays, is more of a four that sets out and shoots tons of threes. So they do a great job of spacing you. They kind of run a dribble drive type offense that going to be very, very difficult to be able to defend. And I think that's the big thing that we need to do. I think Nordic is going to get a number of points, and she's just a great player. But again, we can't let them go crazy from the three-point line, because they love to play transition like we do. And they have balance. They will go inside and try to ISO Nordic and put the ball in Hughes' hands to be able to create offense. So it could be a very, very difficult matchup for us here this weekend. And I'm sure glad with some teams that you play, that's a team I'm really glad that we play at home, because when you go to Crookston, that's a hard place to play. And I think Coach Roizen does a great job putting their kids in a good situation to be able to succeed.
Then on Saturday, it's Alumni Day here at USF for both the men's and women's programs, and you have an old friend coming to town along with Bemidji State, former assistant Chelsea DeVille. Talk about the game and what it's going to be like to have Chelsea across.
Right before we were doing this, I just got off the phone with her, and it'll be fun, but it's not fun. I always say, unfortunately, there's got to be a winner and a loser. And again, she's a great coach, doing a great job at Bemidji. But honestly, it's probably one of my best friends. So unfortunately, she is going to stay after, not ride the bus back, since she's going to have a lot of family and stuff here. So we'll be able to catch up. But we all know as well, we definitely don't want to lose to Bemidji. But if there was ever a game that we ever did lose, I'd feel good about losing to Chelsea, if there's such a thing. But she's worked really hard, and there's no question in my mind that she's going to make those guys into a contender, a lot sooner than later. So, yeah, it's going to be that's going to be another tough game where their post player was a freshman of the year a year ago, just a big, strong kid that's having a great year, and she's putting her kids in a situation. It's kind of like playing ourselves a little bit. She's kind of come up with her own style, but there's still a lot of similarities between the way we play. We both like to play fast and spread the floor. So, yeah, that's we talk about Crookston on Friday night, but I can tell you Saturday's going to be no easy chore when they maybe haven't won as many games as what they would like, but if you look at the scores against all the great teams in our league, they're so competitive that again, we know we're going to have our best foot forward to be able to get to this weekend.
So we want to get the fans out here. Anything you have to say about coming out and supporting the Cougars?
Yeah, I think for those who haven't had a chance to watch us play this year, as a coach, I enjoy coaching this team. I think that we play fast, we shoot threes, we have balance. And again, we've had some really nice crowds, but I think being Alumni Weekend, I challenge anybody that's not busy to come out and watch a kind of a senior-laden team that, if you haven't had a chance to watch, Varsh, we only have her for, a couple more weekends at home before her career, in the Stewart Center will be done, and that's a special kid that I don't know if every year you're going to have a chance to be able to replace. And again, and those are big words, but I'm not going to be honest with you that she's meant a lot to our program. When you look at some of the transfers we brought in, if it was Taylor Varsho, you look back to Vanessa Johnson, who transferred in from South Dakota State. I think Maddie Robson, is a transfer from Nebraska Omaha, who's bringing some things in. And sometimes I don't want to build our team completely on transfers, but sometimes when you're fortunate enough to get some of those type of kids, you know, it really is beneficial. So, you know, come on out, Cougar fans. I tell you what, we're a fun team to watch, and quite honestly, you can come and watch a men's team right now that's putting the ball in the basket.
Yeah.
That I just think that there's a lot of great things going on at USF right now.
Yeah, and remember there are Taylor Varsho and this group of seniors. They have 4 more weekends here. This weekend they play games beginning on Friday night at 6 p.m. against Minnesota Crookston, as we mentioned, then on Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. So come on out to the Stewart Center. Trap, thanks for talking to us today.
Appreciate it, Dan.